Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another travel agent training video. In today's training, it will be part two of the TravelJoy's webinar training. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Zora. I am the CEO and regional trainer for Zora's Travel Bliss LLC. If you are interested in becoming a travel agent with us, please visit zorastravelbliss.info. We'll be happy to have you. While we are looking for travel agents, we also do offer skincare products. So please visit the same website, zorastravelbliss.info, and shop with us. All right, now let's go ahead and begin the training.
Direct payments. Now, this is just a guideline. It's there to set you up for success if you'd like it. If you're not going to complete all of these steps, that's quite all right. You can hide the profile setup checklist and it'll disappear from that top right-hand corner and you won't have to look at it anymore. But it is there to help you if you need it. Now that we've gone over that setup tip, let's go ahead and jump into the fun stuff, which is creating our very first trip on TravelJoy. So to create a trip on TravelJoy, it's pretty easy. We're going to head up to that pink create button at the top left-hand corner of the screen. And from the options that appear, I'm going to select trip. It's the third one from the bottom. Now to create a trip on TravelJoy, you don't need a lot of information. All you need is your client's first name, last name, and email so you can communicate with them. Now, if your primary traveler is already in your client list, you can select them from this drop-down menu here, or you can create a new contact using the create new link just below. I happen to know my client, so I'm going to select her from my contact list, Miss Jane Doe. And I don't know where Jane is headed quite yet. She's just reached out expressing interest in some travel plans. So we'll use the blue create trip button for now and create the trip as is. So what's next? Likely you're going to want to send a form to gather information about your client's trip. We can send a form on TravelJoy by heading to the blue create button at the top right-hand corner of the screen and selecting form from the options that appear. We'll start by selecting which client we want this form to go to on the trip. So since Jane is our only traveler, she's the only one listed here. But if we had multiple travelers and say we wanted Jane to fill out the form for all of the travelers on the trip, we could use this checkbox to allow one recipient to submit forms for other travelers. As of now, Jane is the only traveler, so we'll go ahead and leave that unchecked for now. We're going to select a form from our form template. Your form templates are completely customizable by visiting the templates tab of your dashboard. And you can change things like the questions that are required to be answered, the content of those questions, again, completely customizable. I'm going to leave mine at client inquiry for now. You can even choose a confirmation message to be sent to your client's email after they've submitted the form. These are going to come from your email templates. So you'll select one using the drop-down menu here. And your email templates, just like the form templates, are completely customizable. Once you've selected the form and confirmation email of your choosing, you'll head up to the blue Next Review email button at the top right-hand corner of the screen. And this is going to allow you to review the email that's going to accompany the form. So lots of our features like forms, proposals, invoices will all give you the opportunity to customize the email message that accompanies that first link sent to your client. You can change the subject, change the message body, choose a completely different email template using this drop-down menu here. Make sure your signature looks nice and tidy, and even add attachments in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. Once you have all those details in place, you can send this form off by using the blue send button in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, and away it goes. All right, and we know that was successful because we're taken right back to our trips message feed, which is this first tab here. We can see all of our communication with our client, including that message we just sent to them, including that form. So what does this look like to Jane? I just so happen to have access to Jane's email inbox, and it looks like she has received that form. She's going to be prompted to view the trip form using that blue button there. And then she's going to fill out the form accordingly. So this is what it looks like. We've got our trip photo up here, which we will change. Don't worry, I'll show you how. Now, I can't fill out all of this just for the sake of time, but I do know that Jane would like to go to Palm Springs, California. She'd like to depart next month. It'll be a quick turnaround. We'll say May 30th, and she's coming back on the 1st of June. Her departure city is Salt Lake City, Utah, and so on and so forth. So Jane will fill out the rest of this form. Again, your forms are completely customizable. You can make these questions required so that your client can't skip them. But for the sake of time, we're going to leave that as is. Head up to the blue Submit Form button at the top right-hand corner of the screen. And that form has been submitted. And this thank you message that we're seeing right here is a confirmations template. So this is something that is also completely customizable underneath your confirmations templates tab. And if you had another traveler that might be joining Jane, she'd be able to add that traveler here using that Add Traveler button. If we head back to our TravelJoy account and refresh the page in any way, you're going to get an email notification letting you know that a form has been completed, but you'll also see it within the trip message feed. So these are the form answers, a link to that form, and if you ever need to get to it in the future, say that this form is buried between a lot of different messages, you can head to the Trip Files tab and find that form here. All right, so we now know where Jane would like to go to, and I want to call your attention to the top right-hand corner of the screen because our trip start dates and end dates and our destination has updated automatically. So that came from the inquiry form once it was submitted. Now, if we wanted to change this photo and maybe the trip name to be a little bit more festive and more appealing to Jane's actual destination, we'll head to that three-dot menu just to the left of that blue Create button and select the option to edit trip. This is going to allow us to choose a photo at the top right-hand corner of the screen. Now I use Palm Springs a lot, so you'll see a few palm trees, a few desert pictures down here. Let's see what we get when we say Palm Springs, California. So you can search our database for related photos, or you can upload your own using the Upload tab here. Now, if you're familiar with Palm Springs, you know that it's not in San Francisco Bay, but it does have a lot of golf courses and beautiful purple mountains, and that does look like a picture of Palm Springs, which it is. It's going to pull it in there. Beautiful. Don't worry, we're going to send Jane golfing, so it is relatable, and I'll show you in just a little bit how we're going to send Jane golfing. But anything else that we wanted to change, like the name of the trip, can be found down here at the bottom. Jane Doe's super awesome desert trip. There we go. And if we needed to make any other updates, we could using these fields. Then we'll save that information in place using the blue Save button. And those details are going to update automatically. So there's our photo, there's the trip name, we're all set. So the next step, you're probably wondering, is creating a SMART proposal. You may jump straight ahead to creating an itinerary if you know exactly what you're going to build out for your client. But if you need approval on that proposal first before moving forward into an itinerary, the SMART proposal is the way to go. You can build a SMART proposal on TravelJoy by heading to that blue Create button, just up here to the right, and selecting SMART proposal from the options that appear. All right, this is our SMART proposal builder, and I'm going to start with a little tour. We're going to start on the right-hand side here where most everything is edited. So we're looking at our settings tab, which you can always get back to by using this settings button up here at the top right-hand corner of that proposal title. We can give our proposal a title, and we'll say Jane's Amazing Trip. It does not have to be the same name as the trip itself. You can put in an intro if you'd like to get the client excited about the trip, a few more details, maybe your information if you'd like to. You can change the signature. If you're not vibing with the cursive, that's okay. You can change that using this drop-down menu here, and that's going to update accordingly. You can choose a different cover photo. So if you would like to replace the trip photo with a different photo for the SMART proposal, you can do so by adding your photo here. The confirmation page is going to be the thank you message that appears when your client completes the approval for this proposal. And then the confirmation email, if you'd like an email to be triggered after your client approves the proposal, you'll select that email template here. we scroll on back to the top, we have another tab here called pricing. This is going to allow us to show pricing to our clients and even collect a credit card authorization, which we call a supplier payment or an invoice supplier, or accept a direct payment through TravelJoy. So charge your client's credit card right then and there in the moment and have those funds deposited into a trip funds balance that you can then use to pay your suppliers or withdraw your markup. Or you can leave payments off and just display the pricing. So you have a few options here. You can choose to show a sum of the items, either by itemized price or one package price. And you can choose to either show or hide the prices to your client after they approve their proposal. Now, if you need a little bit more editing room, we do have this nifty little expander here. If you click on that caret, it's going to open it up to give you a little bit more space. And if you click on it again, it'll condense. Over here on the left-hand side, we've got a few different options. I'm going to start with this beautiful magic green button here. This is our bookable items. On TravelJoy, you can allow your clients to book hotels, activities, or transfers using this page here. So if you click on that Explore Bookable Items button, this is what you see. You can search for hotels, again, activities, or transfers and add them to your proposal just by selecting that item. Use the Add to Proposal button, but you can also see different information about the actual item itself, cancellation policies, that kind of thing. Then once you've added it to the proposal and sent it to your client, they can actually book right then and there on the proposal, earning you a commission. We're going to head back to our proposal. The next thing that we have to go over is our options feature. So if you click on Add Options here, if you have multiple hotels that you need your client to choose from, or even multiple destinations, this is the tool for you. So as you can see, this is going to create a section called Options, and you can change that name for that section if you need to. Let's say Hotel Options. There we go. And then you can add those options one by one, and you can add additional ones here for your clients to choose from. So if we were doing hotels, we would add an item using that blue Add Item button, and we could select lodging. Again, you can build entire itineraries in each option for your client to choose from if they're not really sure where they're headed yet. So this is a great tool for many uses. Now getting down to items and sections, you can add sections to kind of break things up on your proposal. So if that's by date or by category, you can use this button to add a section, as we'll see here. You can choose to have it display a date or just a section name. And we'll say the 30th. This will be her arrival date. And I'll add 2 more sections really quickly. And we'll say May 31st, fun day. And 1 more section. This will be June 1st. 1 more over. And this will be departure. All right, so we have our 3 sections in place. And now we can add items to these sections. So you can add items in one of 2 ways. You can add an item to the bottom of the section and drag and drop it where you want it to go by using this Add Item button here. And you'll see all of our items that we have available to add. Or you can use the plus sign just to the right of the section we want to add that item to, and we can select it from here. Now, something that's really important to note about these items is our cruise feature and our lodging feature will allow you to search for both cruises and hotels and bring in all of that information about those two items to make your life a lot easier. So an entire cruise item can include things like deck plans, dining options, and port information for each stop. So highly recommend checking out those 2 tools. I'm going to go ahead and copy and share our guides that we have for our hotel search and our cruise search. And I do see a question in the chat. As a reminder, please be sure to submit your questions to the questions tab so that they get answered. I do have a fellow joy maker who is hanging out in the questions tab, and we want to make sure that you leave with an answer today. So if you have not yet already, please be sure to put the questions in the questions tab. Alrighty, so let's say we're going to be sending Jane to an activity for this Saturday. We're going to say the Palm Springs Farmers Market is where she's headed. Now, each item has its own set of fields that's going to correlate with that specific item. So for cruises, you'll see port information, whereas for activities, you're looking for location, start time of the activity, that kind of thing. I'm not going to fill out this in its entirety, again, just for the sake of timing, but this should give you an idea of what you can include. Time will be 8 a.m. Should perfect. And confirmation numbers, phone numbers, whatever you'd like to include. Underneath the item description, we can say something to get them excited for this activity. We'll say fun shopping with local artists and vendors. All right. And if you wanted to add a YouTube video to this description to kind of make things a little bit more fun as well, you can do so by clicking on this link here. It'll have you input the URL to the YouTube video you'd like to share with your client, and it will embed it within that item description.